I'm Francesca.
Hi, I'm Daniele.
And we're really, really excited to join the Hallé Orchestra at Bridgewater Hall in Manchester in January for an amazing program. And we have Glinka's Overture to Ruslan and Ludmila on the menu, opening up for starters. And then we have Tchaikovsky Violin Concerto, where I will be the soloist. I'm a violinist. And in the second half, a really great big symphony, and that's Rachmaninov number 3. This concerto, I think there is not one violinist who isn't in love with it, who hasn't practiced it a lot growing up, and I got to perform it for the first time actually really quite young. I think I was 16, and I've never stopped since, and it's one of the big columns of my repertoire. Tchaikovsky, we actually also performed it together. When we met, actually, I asked Daniele to accompany me. He was very well known for his great sight reading, and so I had an audition with Beethoven Concerto, and I just walked up to him and I said, "Hey, you, they tell me you're a good pianist. Can you play with me, please?" And so that's how it started 14 years ago.
14 years ago,
That makes
yes.
us feel old, but actually we were just quite young at the time.
Yeah.
I remember my teacher, my violin teacher, who actually recently passed away, so it's something I think about a lot in this period. He used to tell me that you couldn't play the canzonetta from Tchaikovsky's Violin Concerto without, I don't think one should think of images really when you're playing specific images, because music is something more than that, but you have to know the kind of background, and not only historical background, but the poetic background. And he used to tell me I had to think about Natasha observing the moon in War and Peace by Tolstoy. And I think for that piece, for the canzonetta, it's true, there's this contemplative sweetness, and it's a real breath between the first and the final movement. Rachmaninov, on the other hand, represents the highest level of virtuosity on the piano, but how is his symphony writing?
Interestingly enough, I just visited the Villa Senara in Switzerland, where he wrote the symphony. So he wanted really to have to find this piece and to have a place where he could really go back into the composition. Orchestra loves to play his music. It's rich. Every section in the orchestra has its own, they can find their own glory now at the end of the concert. I think in terms of symphonic composer, he might be one of the most underrated.
I read somewhere, this is not mine, but it's really good, so I'm going to steal it from whoever I read it from, that the performers and the audiences are they are giving the direction to the music, which is like a river. So so you need both sides to keep the river flowing in the right direction. One of the best things about live music is that anyone who's there, us on stage or whoever's listening, is actively transforming the experience.
Well, that's so true. I mean, of course, the audience is part of the show in all senses.
So this is a debut, so we look forward to being shaped by the audience at the Bridgewater Hall too.
Performing with an amazing orchestra like the Hallé, and I mean in a fantastic hall, because Bridgewater, it was always a dream to perform there. And we have 3 concerts there with an amazing acoustic.
So you mean we're bound to get it right once? At least,
no.
Yeah.
I hope we will get.
No, we'll go for the 3. I think.
Yeah.
The 3 is a good number.
But I think Tchaikovsky, fantastic orchestra, fantastic hall. I think it's a privilege. I want you at the Bridgewater Hall.
No,
we're waiting for you.
That's a bit aggressive.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Come to Bridgewater Hall.
please join us. And I think if you already love music, you know what we're talking about. If you don't, if you have never been to a classical music concert, I think this is the right program.
And clearly, I love working with you, make
Thank
music together, of course.
Camera's on, yeah.
Yes.